This must be school at Athens, cause they're wiser than Plato. Knowledge can be dangerous though, just ask my bro Galileo. Roast so fire you'll start to lick Jan Hus. These lines and rhymes are type of my Bible interpretations loose. Goat Pope, I'm talking Julius II with the stainless armor sword. Warrior Pope be reppin' against the church tradition. Grew a beard for a little fun, not to be outdone. Martin Luther went and banged a nun. King Charles, future darker than a Calvinist, makes over from the new world, call him an alchemist. Dealing with inflation, vibrations, withering noble patience. Battle off Turk invasions, papal incapacitations. Not holy, not Roman, no real empire. He's dealing with some uppity monk, lower than a squire, with some ragtag group of mercenaries for hire. Sick of indulgences getting sold to the highest buyer. Publishes the Bible in the commoner's tongue, so everyone can believe from the top to the bottom rung. Gutenberg takes his dreams to reality. The problem is the poor plurality aren't taught to read. I see the disses that he's writing on the parchment, appealing to the noblemen as well as the street urchins. Trick the poor to his cause, you know he gonna play him. When the German workers rise, he goes and betrays them. Funds from principalities, I question the legality, but not the lethality. 25% fatalities, states collapsing and there's practically anarchism. The aftermath of battles and they're looking like mannerism. The war's 30 years long with no religious freedom. Peace treaty isn't strong, same faith as your fiefdom. At the end of the Renaissance it isn't looking well. Protestant or Catholic, they're both condemned to hell. I run circles round you, so they call me Magellan. Got silver on my chest, so much clout, think I'm from heaven. From the halls of Montezuma, ain't got time for the plebs. I'm the OG genocidal, homicidal Cortez. Call me Pablo Picasso, cause it feels surreal. Pulling up with my crew and guns, germs, and steel. I'm suspicious of the Aztecs, didn't give us a meal. Barricades in the streets, it's about time to peel. Got a heart yearning gold, so I'm not gonna falter. Just hope I don't end up at the bottom of the altar. Bring it back to Queen Isabel, don't wanna insult her. When it comes to moral ground, I could stand a little taller. Medici's and Italy spending money like big ballers, but with vanity and sanity get dissed by Savonarola. Invite France to chill, but they pillage and rape. Forced to face his fate, he got burned away at the stake. Money coming in, and it's time to party. Got fat stacks and a standing army, and it's justify the means, call me Machiavelli. Peasants be starving, but the rich got a full belly. Henry IV getting cock-blocked. Next he pulls up with a flintlock. Kill the whole squad if they trespass. After all, Paris is worth a mass. Convert to please the plurality. If you want an alliance, you gotta go Swedes. I'ma make bourbon a dynasty. Even the Turks wanna get with me. I am the master of politique. Man, though, this traffic is killing me. Catholic got a shooter on a cold street. Can't spell Catholic killer, they write it with 2 C's. They try to hate, so they shoot it. But I'm the first true absolutist. These divine rights all got to me. I'm the Sun King, but you can call me Louis. I make a lot of cash, got Jean-Baptiste, got 5 estates and a trade company. Don't care about the debts in the treasury. I'll throw the best party in the century. To be honest, got a small confession. My war of secession is causing depression, and wars with the Dutch are giving some tension. I'm learning my lessons, I've got an obsession. France's dissection is my only guessing. I must be the best in the monarchy section. Each new direction is a greater blessing. My deity's testing and besting my guessing. The face of Europe is radically changed. Britain and France live by kings deranged. People are rioting, fully unchained. Relations all over are going astray. After the rise of King William of Orange, the United Kingdom is up and formed, yet quality of life remains so abhorrent. Beer too light, women's rights still foreign. The continent having informed so much gorin', moving to a new age of brutal endurance. I got more girls than Henry VIII. Looking for heirs, he's looking to mate. I'll get the fleet, you sink the bait. Spanish get beat, made a mistake. raking money with the Dutch, the merchant fleet. Stockholders always come in clutch with that currency. Wind at my back, I feel the gusts. Got a heavy breeze, round Cape of Good Hope in a rush with some urgency. Sell spices, going boom or bust with the monopoly. Now that the bank is looking flush, go on a spending spree. Center of the universe, don't tell Copernicus. Absolute monarchist, I'm like Hobbes and Leviticus, relying on my senses. Call me an empiricist, a masterful lyricist, making money moves like Adam Smith. Pascal insists to find a way for synthesis. Does God exist? Stage or major wager, not worth it to be an atheist. Redact, lock, social contract, act like I don't care. Satire like Voltaire, unregulated like laissez-faire. Call me Kant, I become incomprehensible, but Charia agrees my punishment's reprehensible. Looks like the fall of Rome, Gibbons calls it a sensible. Vindicate the rights of women on matters of principle. Started from the bottom, now I got whole battalions. My troops are rallying, battles won Italian. Sun up to sundown, I'm training my regiments. My father was a king, can I be greater than him? Glory on the field is what I lack for Silesia. Russians gotta hold me back, take that Teresia. Frederick is the name, I'm the Prussian epitome. I hope you're not my enemy, I'm building up the dynasty. I got enlightenment guiding me, logic enshrining me. I protect the legacy, so load the artillery. Don't start a fight with me, I got men willing to die for me. I make the history, leave it to scholars to write for me. Cut to France, facing trials and tribulations. Entire nation is facing complacent starvation. Just as the core states build up a report, these maids so savage, they sent the poor to the tennis court. Gunshot as bloodshot, going down for real. You get the royals, we're gonna go storm the Bastille. Form it up, Robespierre been reading his Rousseau. Sentenced to death 30 minutes or less as dominoes. I don't have clout, but it's the cult of the supreme, headed to the headless. Take him up to the guillotine. Secret police, people selling out for Florians. Coup comes full circle, soldiers paid by Thermidorians. Pistol to his head, in his final moments he's baffled. He's choked up by Danton as he's led up to the scaffold. Amidst the chaos, a savior, a gentleman, a pauper nobleman, a humble Corsican, rose through the ranks based on sheer ability. Load the artillery, calculates the trajectory. 5 years later, overthrows the directory. Ridden of the puppetry, reworking the circuitry. It's rather bold of him to scold the old system. These shots all missed him his name, Napoleon. My countrymen flock to me, haters are mocking me. I got the grand amine, now there's no stopping me. They're forming coalitions, making battle propositions. I'll take no less than submission, call it blind ambition. My formations are lethal, spraying up blood and bits. Inventor of the blitz, from Jena to Austerlitz. Army splinter, each battle I'm a winner. My only foe I've taken on is Russians in the winter. They try and exile me, but what they gonna do? I come back like Terminator 2, meet up at Waterloo. Ranks of men fire, ranks of men fall. I stand tall among it all, yet fate still doesn't call. Left behind more victories than any else in history. France would still be nothing if it weren't for Mon Ami. Watch out, it's about to get industrial. Coal fields, cold steel, steam's combustible. Advancing faster with each new refrain. Canal boats and trains, extinction and acid rain. Reading my books by Engels and Marx. Economy off the charts, yet the poor are fed to the sharks. As these ideas start to gain a little traction, we see a little action. Monarchical retraction, conservative reaction, standard transaction. France the last bastion, classic case of entrapment. Stop the discourse, no chance to negotiate. Biggest move the workers make in 1848. Troops coming in, they're trying to trap it all. They pull up the big guns, now they're shelling the Capitol. One man's job to retrieve it, about to make his mark. Goes by Otto, but we know him now as Bismarck. Career diplomat, field bureaucrat, hypochondriac, conservative aristocrat. Becomes a chancellor with touch of the despotic. My love for czars is starting to feel slightly homoerotic. I'm calling conferences, shifting balances of power. This is my final hour, time for my plans to flower. I do it all legit except for one small catch. I may have changed some words around in a diplomatic dispatch. I turn a phrase, a few insinuations, to war declarations coming from the French nation. 6 months later I'm seeing unification. All it took was a little strong arm persuasion. When it comes to challengers it seems I'm immune. It doesn't matter if you're the Pope or a Paris commune, because it's weak against the strong. Strong strong against the weak. With realpolitik, you can rise above the meek. The OG Ubermensch, I feel a little Nietzschean, but I still love Christ unless it's a Catholic preaching him. I'm to be feared and admired, policy startling. I'm talking blood and iron up in German parliament. Some say I'm benevolent, some say I'm sinister. Finish my record as the greatest German minister. Barbed wire, machine guns, and mustard gas. You really thought Europe at war would come to pass? A whole generation blown to bits in the mud with Brits spilling blood, French firing off duds. Mothers on both sides are losing their sons to the enemy guns at the Somme and Verdun. Went to war for the purpose of semantics, going at it like U-boats in the Atlantic. Takes 4 years for them to realize their antics. Not like the treaties they wrote will stop all the panic. At least the economy is doing just fine. That is until it crashes in 1929. Now every country is looking for a strong man. Germany finds themselves with a con man. His rhetoric's sublime. He panders like a mime. Hell, they even made him person of year for time. Germany decides to go big in 36. Hosts all of Europe for the Berlin Olympics. Can you imagine all of their consternation when 4 years later they be under Nazi occupation? Poland falls fast, so does France. Even Russia seems down at first glance, but the winter hits hard. Troops make no headway. Now Americans are landing at D-Day. Tanks are pushing in, they're turning back the tide. Hitler's committing suicide by cyanide, and 50 million lives are lost. Destruction's unequaled. Whoever said there isn't any action in a sequel? Now there's two kids on the block who want attention. Americans and Russians, no holistic intentions. They say they love freedom, but I ain't buying it. One loves gulags, one loves Nazi scientists. But it all pays off if they make it to the moon, right? Endless competition with no end in sight. You have to wonder, what were they fighting for? Vietnam's awfully hot. You sure this was a Cold War? Ronald Reagan is tearing down the wall. Now European Union is trying to mend it all. Still got problems and issues, but we'll just have to see. After all, we're only 20 years into a whole new century. And if you took something from European history, it's that you can learn anything if it's synced with a sick beat.